Thank you for clicking in this afternoon to ETB Extra on the ETB Sports Net. Hello, I'm Mike Mitkiff. We're live from the Huffman Student Activities area in the Ornella Student Center here on the campus of East Texas Baptist University. We'll be here each Wednesday from noon to 1 talking Tiger athletics from the sports that are in season. We've already talked football. We've talked volleyball. Now it's time to talk soccer with the head coach of Tiger Soccer. He not only is the head coach for the men's team, but also for the ladies team. And Coach Grant, I think I asked you this last year. How do you juggle both of the responsibilities?
I really don't know any different. And the best thing about it is I get the best of both worlds. You've got a group of young ladies that you train a certain way, and the men you could do the same activity, and it's totally different. So it's challenging at times, but it's definitely a good challenge, and definitely enjoy it.
I know you've added 2 new soccer coaches to your staff. Talk about the 2 new coaches you have helping you this year.
Yeah, Krista Robinson out of Lufkin, Texas, just graduated from Stephen F. Austin. Chad Cox, a former player here, not only a soccer player but a baseball player here from ETBU, came via his previous job at high school in Palestine, Texas. So it's been, I'd say, starting over from scratch, and not so much the X's and O's or the training sessions or the games, but just the paperwork and how we do things. But the positive has been is we've been able to retweak some things, and having Krista just coming out of college, bringing some of her insight and input. Chad being here previously as a player, bringing some of his same thoughts. And so those things have really been good. And it's right away, I would say, definitely made a difference with certain things that we've done off the field.
Visiting with Paul Grant here, the head soccer coach here at East Texas Baptist University. Coach, let's talk about the men's team first, then we'll transition and talk about your Lady Tigers here in just a moment. Over the weekend, you opened up on the road against Shriner and TLU. Unfortunately, not a good outcome. Of course, the season started with Centenary losing there. You are facing 0-3. And a good friend of mine, Jason Souls, who used to work at ETBU, told me to ask you about the penalty kick, and you would know what I'm talking about because he now works in San Antonio. He'd come up to Seguin to watch the Tigers play when he played TLU. So what's the deal about the penalty kick?
Well, actually, the penalty kick was in the Shriner game, which was the second of the 2 this weekend. We were actually playing well, and not that we played bad, but it was a questionable call. But like a lot of things, you've got to it's how you handle it. And the reality is this, after the questionable call, for 10 minutes we didn't handle it well, and they went on to score again. But I think it was a good lesson that we learned. Obviously, the result as far as 3-2 is not something you want, but for us, it was an opportunity as a staff to let them know that you can't let one thing, big or small, interfere with what you're doing. And then we've had a couple of those actually in the first of our 3 preseason games. So those are things that we're able to grow on, build on, and I really feel like down the road those are the little things that are going to pay off.
Now, Jason Souls also said, hey, ask Coach about the opportunities you had in the game that maybe because of young players didn't take, but something you could do in practice to help the players, be more aggressive maybe on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and we've only added 3 new members to the men's team, but it's just finding that right mix, and the reality is we were able to do some things on Saturday that we haven't done in the prior 2 games offensively, and I'm sure those are the things that he's talking about. But it was a pass being made, and we weren't expecting it. And it happened again, and then we were ready for it. So, again, it's that process of putting the pieces together and putting not only together but being consistent. And that was something that Saturday we saw for the first time all preseason. And like I said, definitely a game we really feel like we should have gotten a result out of. But, we get to make those adjustments, clean some things up, add some things, and get ready for this weekend.
In that Shriner loss, 3-2, you had goals scored by Justin Adams and Gunnar Gibson. As a coaching staff, what do you like seeing so far, 3 games deep into the season, what's happening on the team at the men's level?
We've been able to move players around, find a spot for players on the field that need to be on the field and contribute. Gunnar Gibson for us playing out wide, and typically he's a central player, but he scores from playing out wide and had a couple other chances. But again, it goes back to, for him and some others, not being familiar with position, not being familiar with the type of situations to deal with. But now he's more experienced, he's ready, and that goes for a lot of the others as well. So those are the positives. I mean, we don't have a very big roster, but anybody that we have can play. Anybody that we have can step in, and we don't drop off. And in some instances, they bring a different element to maybe of what we try to do, and just to help balance things out as well.
Visiting with Paul Grant, head soccer coach here at East Texas Baptist University. And Coach, before I let you go and bring one of your players on board and talk with them, we also need to talk about the women's too before I let you go, so I can't get ahead of myself. I kind of want to mention about the first home games coming up. After your first 3 games on the road, finally get to come to Cornish Soccer Field and play the first match this weekend. I know you and your club are looking forward to being at home for the first time.
Yeah, it's good to play here. I mean, we've got a really great fan base for both the men and women. We've got a great parent support to come out and tailgate, which helps bring out others as well. But just to be at home and then, to play underneath the lights. I mean, we've got one of the best venues in the conference. So to come home, to play in that environment, to play underneath the lights, and just, even the beauty of being able to you get out of your own bed.
Your opponent this weekend at Cornish Soccer Field is Houston Victoria. What can you tell us about your opponent coming in Saturday night at 7 p.m. at Cornish Soccer Field?
The women, again, Victoria's a fairly new program, 4 or 5 years old. Women, very comparable, I would say, match. The men, it's going to be entertaining. They've got more than a handful of international players. Coach Rigby's done a good job in building a very strong NAIA program down there. I look for it to be entertaining for both programs. I look at to definitely be competitive matches, and we sure like to definitely get the win at home, and definitely get ready for conference coming up.
Well, let's transition, Coach. We've been talking a lot about the men's soccer team that you're the head coach of. Now let's transition and talk about the Lady Tiger soccer team. Still looking for that first win of the year, but you did get some goals against Shriner as you lost there. I'm sorry, I got my scores wrong. You had goals against Centenary. I lost there 4-2. Aaron Miller and Stephanie Castillo with goals. And, of course, you played Shriner and TLU over the weekend and unable to get a victory. What's pleasing to see the ladies' team as you are progressing into the season and finally got off the practice field and into the games?
We're starting anywhere from 7 to 8 new players incoming. A couple of returners that are definitely getting more playing time than they have in the past. So to have the mix of that, and you're going to have the growing pains, the rookie mistakes, but to see where we're at compared to where we're even at it last year at this time, and the biggest thing is obviously not only how we're playing, but how we're playing together. Offensively, as far as the scores, obviously they haven't come out the way you'd want, but if you look at the box score, the stat sheet, 2 of our 3 games we've outshot both, but we have shut out opponents 3-1. Again, ultimately you can shoot all you want to. The ball needs to go across the line, but the consistency, the opportunities that we're having now that we didn't have at this time even last year, and just to be young, just to see that come together, and the women are doing a great job of showing patience, growing, and doing little things that I really feel when things just start to click, the floodgates are going to open and we're going to score goals, and we haven't done that in the last couple of years. So that's definitely exciting for us, but also exciting for those to come out and watch and not necessarily have your typical 1-2-1 soccer game.
Of course, this weekend, both the men and women have their home debut at Cornish Soccer Field. Ladies' match begins at 5 p.m., men's match at 7 p.m. against Houston Victoria. If a fan comes out this Saturday to see your soccer clubs play, tell me what can they expect as they drive up to the Cornish Soccer Field right behind the football stadium?
I would think more than a handful of people. I think we average at least 300-400 people typically at a game, definitely on a Saturday. and just I think the feel, the feel that when they walk in, the excitement, and again, not only is it a great venue, but it's just a certain feeling whenever you get there, and I think that'll carry over, and we do what we need to do on the field. That'll make it even a better feel for everyone.
Of course, these games are non-conference games. You're working toward the conference schedule. Are your coaching staff on a plan to get to the conference, and give me kind of a preview of the conference schedule ahead?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I kind of look at this the whole season and work backwards. We want to be at certain places, certain times. Obviously now, with the women getting ready to start conference a week from Friday, get Sul Ross. I think we're in a good. I think we'll be in a good place. I really do. The men still have another weekend prior to their conference, and ultimately the game is the teacher. I mean, we can train all we want to, but to put it into action during the game is really when you learn. So I think we're on the right track. Obviously, I think as coaches or in the coaching world, are you really ever satisfied? And you're probably not, but I really have a very good feel about where we're at and where we need to be. And the scary thing is not where we need to be, but where we're going to be. And that's definitely exciting.
Okay, a fun question, Coach. And he's like going, what is Mike going to ask me now? When did you develop your love for soccer?
Wow. The reality is this: I was not allowed to play football. And I brought home this piece of paper to Mom and Dad, and it was soccer. And went out, played, and obviously everybody else, my friends and so forth and so on, were doing everything else but soccer. But for me personally, at that age of 7 or 8, and where I'm at today, I'm getting to work to get paid something I love to do. And it started obviously at a young age, and I'm a little bit older now. But for some of those that gave me the grief about playing soccer, they're doing a lot of things they don't necessarily enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm very blessed to be able to do something I love to do.
Well, friend, always glad for your time here on ETBU Extra. And I never asked that question before, but wanted to hear where that love of soccer started for Paul Grant, the head coach of the Lady Tigers. Don't go away. Coming up next here on ETBU Extra, we're talking with 2 of Coach Grant's players, one from the men's team and one from the ladies' team. We got more coming up next on ETBU Extra, live from the Student Center on the campus of East Texas Baptist University.